So today on Gear Cucks, I wanted to talk about this, which I think is the second best looking kind of new design guitar that came out in the last couple of years. I think the Charvel Pro Mods came out in about 2019, around about a similar time to the Ibanez AZ, if I remember correctly at all. So I think these are incredible looking guitars. So you get these caramelized neck thing, luminolay dots on this side of the fretboard, locking tuners, actual Goto trem, right? We've got Seymour Duncan, I think we've got an Alnico Pro 2 in the neck, and a shred humbucker in the bridge. The coil splitting thing, or the series parallel thing, actually seems to be like usable tones, which is not always the case. So I always felt like the Ibanez AZ little switch thing kind of, a lot of them sounded odd. This doesn't seem to have that. It just seems to have like additional usable, more kind of single coil tones. The only thing that I don't necessarily love about this guitar is the neck, which is very much that sort of wide-ish, thin-ish, flat-ish thing. Ibanez RG-ish for sure, not the kind of full C shape of an Ibanez AZ, which is what I think I like about the Ibanez AZ a little bit more. Aside from this, I think it's a really cool guitar. I think it's pretty looking. I think you've got an awesome headstock, just a great all-rounder. And also, I think actually when you look at the back of it, you can see that this is quite a neat design in terms of upper fret access. You can get pretty much all the way there, and then this thing taken from the Guthrie signature, is that where that originally came from? But yeah, so I'm glad that I got an opportunity to try it, thanks to Connor. He's borrowing the Schecter Nick Johnston for a while, and I've got this little thing to take care of. But as I say, you've got like actual usable tones. So here's the like full sounds of the, and then if you flick it this way, you get actual kind of faux single coil tones. Which is something that I like about it, at least. So this is kind of the most obvious alternative that when you look at the Sterling JP150, now these, I hear in the comments, had some varying opinions. Like the neck to me feels relatively similar. Obviously it's a humbucker design. What I like about the Charvel in comparison is that you've got a few more options in terms of switching. I'm not going to compare how similar or not they sound, but they're both humbucker guitars. But yeah, you've got, like I say, these coil splitting kind of tones, the more single coil based stuff, which you don't really have so much of on the Sterling. In terms of looks, I do still really think the Sterling is an incredible looking guitar, but as I say in the comments, I think people found these to be a bit variable in terms of quality, which if you're paying sort of this money for a guitar, you want something to be pretty consistent, I'd suggest. The other thing is that this actually has Seymour Duncan pickups in it, which I think we're all familiar with as being, you know, relatively well regarded. I think these are about £750 to £800 at the moment, what I can find online. I'd like it if they offered an alternative neck shape, one with a bit more of a full seat, I think. As I say, I think it does feel wide-ish in the hands, a bit RG-ish. I guess those specs are probably fairly similar. You've got a compound radius, 12 to 16 inch. I think that's the case. But yeah, all round really decent. Built in Mexico. And I think we're used to the idea of there being some really quality guitars coming out of Mexico. I think that'd be fair to say. Yeah, I'm really impressed with it. A good looking guitar. Plays really well. The only sort of hurdle to entry is whether you can get on with this neck style. I think it looks as well like not super metally or anything like that, so you could easily gig this in many different contexts, and I think it's a bit more versatile than the description kind of gives it credit for. You know, they kind of call it a bit of a shred bass guitar, but with this little switch you can actually get pretty usable, I think, single coily tones, and I think that would be where, when I was playing it, I was kind of finding myself gravitating towards the switch being that way instead of that way, so the kind of lower output stuff. It's just a really handy little switch. So yeah, I'm overall quite impressed. I've held the neck of it in my hands in a guitar shop before and always thought, that's a bit too slim for my liking. But having actually sat and played one, it does make a bit of sense. Like, it as a guitar works quite nicely. I think that would be the only thing that I'd make sure if you were thinking about trying one. Think about something like an Ibanez RG. Does that work in your hands? I feel like the specs are roughly similar there. To play it, it is actually really fun to play and quite addictive. Like, it takes a bit of time for me personally to get used to that neck shape. I don't know whether long term it would work for me, but it's certainly a really cool guitar. Let me know if you've had one of these, if you found them consistent or inconsistent, or how you got on with yours. Did it come out of the box ready to go, or were there issues with it? It looks to me like the fretwork is pretty tidy. No obvious finishing issues or anything like that. Just so a pretty solid guitar coming out of Mexico. And yeah, as I say, I think we're used to that as an idea. A really cool little guitar. I'll try and do a couple more videos with it, I think. The only thing for me is maybe something with a slightly thicker neck, you know, like an AZ style option. Maybe they'd sell a bunch more of these, because I think these would suit people other than just shredders. I think a really great idea. Thank you for stopping by. Feel free to leave your experience with the Charvel DKs. If you have any ideas of other Charvel models that have a thicker neck, please leave them in the comments below as well. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on those. I'll catch you in another video soon. Cheers!